The definition of an ecosystem is a biological community of interacting organisms and their physical environment. For an ecosystem to be healthy, it requires the organisms and their environment to act in harmony. Everything must be in a constant equilibrium. For example, if an animal species in an ecosystem is overeating a certain plant species, then it would cause this equilibrium to become off balance and make it so the ecosystem can no longer sustain itself. The cool thing about a healthy ecosystem, however, is after a huge surge in animal population or major decline in that of a plant species, the ecosystem will eventually equal itself out and stay in its balanced state.
An example of a healthy ecosystem is the kelp forests off our coast. Sea otters feed off of sea urchins, who in turn eat kelp. Kelp forests are crucial to the environment because, like trees on land, these kelp forests erase CO2 from the atmosphere. So it's clear that we need these kelp forests to cleanse the air so we can breathe it. But these kelp forests serve as food for sea urchins and other tiny sea creatures that thrive in those areas. When sea urchins overpopulate, the kelp forests run the risk of being completely eliminated from the ecosystem. Therefore, sea otters who eat sea urchins are needed to keep the sea urchin population under control so that the kelp forests can thrive and serve their needed purpose to the environment.
The scary reality of our world today is that our overall global temperatures are climbing. As a result of these higher temperatures, healthy ecosystems are starting to shift, and even minor shifts could spell out bad news for the fragile lifespan of ecosystems. Rising sea levels are polluting freshwaters with salt, and migration patterns for butterflies and birds are causing the breeding seasons and food availability to become unsynced. Animal species are being forced to migrate and pushed into smaller areas where their typical food sources are scarce. Cold weather plant species in forests are diminishing, and major droughts around the globe are drying up and changing ecosystems left and right.
An example of climate change's effects on our ecosystem can be seen again in the kelp forests off our coast. The current brings in nutrient-rich, acidic, cold, and oxygenated waters, which allow the kelp forest ecosystems to survive. With rising global temperatures, the waters brought up by this current could acquire lower pH values and lower oxygen levels. These contaminated coastal swells could kill the kelp forest instead of feeding them. With the greenhouse effects contributing to the large amounts of CO2 in the atmosphere, those huge kelp forests of the coast are necessary to reduce them in order to make the air suitable for living organisms to breathe. Without the kelp forests, the lives of not only humans but all living organisms from various ecosystems are in jeopardy.